ironically, I type in like a stand-up. I type in ST for stand-up comedy, right? ST, and what pops up? Stutz.
But who recommended that?
No one.
You said somebody.
No one recommended it. I was saying to watch stand-up comedy.
I thought Jake.
Oh yes, my bad. So okay. So I'm at the house. Thank you so much.
Hey.
So I'm going at the house, and I'm going to watch. See,
it's okay.
I'm in a lot. My head's in a big old cluster right now. So thank you. So
at Thanksgiving.
He's telling me to watch.
Your cousin.
My cousin Jacob. So and Jacob is like he's not the type to
he's non-social.
Talk. Yeah, very much. But he's a good kid. But he's like one of those people that they don't say much, but whenever they speak, it's always from like a real, genuine, analytical, heartfelt, loving, like.
If he's saying something, it's something worth listening to.
So serious, yeah.
It's not something off the wall like you should disregard.
No, he's so
and he also
pure-hearted.
Seems like the type of person that stays quiet and back in the corner of the room and lets everybody else shine.
Yeah.
He's pretty awesome that way.
Yeah.
But this particular day,
I don't know why he
interacted and he shared something with you.
He randomly said, and he does it sometimes, but he was like, said, have you seen that movie Stutz with, and I was like, no, what's that? Oh, it's on Netflix. It's about, so Jonah Hill did 2 years of therapy with his professor, and they recorded it, and it's just a conversation basically of them two going back and forth with Jonah Hill in their therapy and interviewing basically his therapist. Kind of like how you're doing with me almost. Is I'm supposed to be the person doing the thing, and then you reversed it on me, and I'm just a body kid. That's what Jonah.
It'd be really weird if you just sat here and did your own podcast.
It would.
About you.
It would. So I don't know. You're helping me out so much. Thank you.
You needed it though.
I did. Yeah. It's gonna help. Because mentally I'm getting out of it now. I don't want to talk about it. So moving forward.
So us talking about it, it's helping you though.
100%.
Which is possibly what may help other people that come on your show when they maybe don't even realize they know talking about it will help.
Yeah.
When they sit down to talk with you, it may happen.
So I think that we're probably going to get to that too, as like a pin.
So if he didn't recommend this show, or even as he recommended it, did you off the top of your head like, man, that sounds like something I'd want to watch? Because me personally, listen to you describe it, I'm like, I'd rather go watch a comedy.
It's like you read my face at the dinner table, because I was like, oh yeah, that's.
If y'all had that conversation cool. And I was sitting there, I didn't hear a word of it.
We did.
I didn't hear a word of it.
And he's like, yeah, you should. I was like, oh, okay. And I was like, like maybe.
I think I tuned it out and was just eating my food.
Probably. I was like, yeah, okay, cool. I'll check it out. And then actually him and I really didn't talk for the rest of the time that much. I think he
just shares that and that's it.
Well, I think him and Hannah left.
Yeah. Can you imagine though? Like, I didn't have no conversation with Jake that I remember.
Yeah.
Like I said, hello, how you doing?
Yeah.
Talked about school a little bit, how he's doing in school. Minimal, right?
Yeah.
And then he goes and shares that with you. I wonder if we asked everybody that night, who all did he share that with? So God reaches out to you through other people.
Yeah, you know what he said? He said, I watched it, and it really helped me, because I was listening to it, or I was watching it, and as I was watching I was like, hey, that's how I feel.
Oh.
And so as I was watching it, I was kind of thinking about him too on it. And I'm like, gave me a different light about him, because he don't talk.
Yeah, we don't know much about Jake's personal,
Some of the stuff in that film, it's like, I wonder what he related to, because I'm curious. I don't know. I'll see him and I'll talk to him about it. I did text him that night. He didn't text me back, but I texted him that night afterwards, because I was crying during the thing. And I was like, because I actually did the exercises and stuff with it, and I was like, I that's where I'm at now. It's how it helped me. But I texted him back and I said, Jacob, thank you so much for that's gonna change my life. I just told him, like, thank you, because it did.
And you had to thank God for the blessings.
100% to work through
moving through your cousin to deliver that message as to God knows you were going to go home that night. You were going to feel down and out, and you were going to need something.
Yeah.
And and he prepared you for that. And and whatever conversation you were having with the female who tried to tell you to go watch a
stand-up comedy,
which you know help uplift you, and you end up falling into, oh yeah, this is what nephew or cousin recommended.
The reason why I say I forgot is because like I was going to look up, and I thought I found it myself, was because I was looking up stand up. I had completely forgot that Jake had mentioned Stutz, but it wasn't until I said ST and Stutz came up that I was like, Jake,
I know.
Let me watch that real quick, because maybe that can help. And when I watched it,
it did.
It clicked something in my brain that we can get to later on of what it did for me. But it did two fantastic things for me recently with family members that I'll forever be thankful for it. And I'm gonna, anyways. Go ahead. So what's this?
So that night you were feeling suicidal.
Yeah, I was feeling suicidal.
And you watched that movie, and did it help pull you out of it, or give you a different way of thinking, or where did you leave off feeling in that sense of suicide?
I wanted to go talk to so it left me every second of that from the beginning, actually, from the opening statement. Jonah Hill comes in, he says, "What's up, Stutz?" And it just sounded like me. I always just call people by what they don't need to be called. Like, I got friends that I give them all kinds of nicknames, right? And he's like, "Sup, Stutz?" And I'm like, "Are you talking to a therapist like that?" Like, you know what I mean? Like, "Sup, Stutz?" He's like, "What's going on, Jonah?" And the guy's got Parkinson's. Hey, "What's going on, Jonah?" And he sits down. He's like, "So, entertain me." And he's like, "Yeah." Jonah's like, "Well, that's what you typically tell, all your patients when you're starting." Yeah, that's what I tell everybody. And he's like, "Well," then Jonah says, "Well, you also tell me, you better not come in here and dump all your shit on me." And then he's like, "Yeah, I tell that to," he's like, or I usually say that to, or something like that. And that right there, that's the opening thing. That right there clicked, and it made
Hooked
my suicidal thoughts go away.
Really?
It made everything go away. I kind of like got
you focused on something else.
I turned off my thoughts wanting to kill me. Yeah, I really did. Like, I was having but I've been having suicidal thoughts all kind of like week, and I had no one to talk to about it. I even called you, and I was ready to go just drink, and that probably may have ended up not very well, because I don't know what that floodgate's gonna open. I don't want to get too far into it, but anyways. So
because you've been drug free, I feel like one drink of beer, yeah,
for 8 months now,
some
9
people
months.
Consider alcohol a drug too, cigarettes a drug, whatever.
Cigarettes too. I've been off of it. Yeah.
Just doing one of any of those can snowball into doing all of them.
I call it the domino effect.
And some people also believe one hard night of partying can take you out of this world, because your body can't take it. Yeah,
because like it's been said before, movie stars will OD because they try to go back to what they used to do whenever they were at the top. Yeah, they get clean and they go back, and it's like your body just don't take it the same way.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah, that's what I heard too.
Okay, I heard because I haven't read.
Me neither.
I haven't seen the documentary, but I heard. Rumor has
Fact check.
That's right. Okay, so back to exactly. So after we had our discussion of an hour of you spilling your heart out regarding your heartbreak feelings at the moment, and basically our conclusion to that, which I think we've already established, is that we're putting it in God's hands, which you haven't necessarily done yet, but you will do that when you're ready, maybe by the end of the night, when you're one-on-one with God. But giving it to God, letting him take care of it, letting him tell you, this is my recommendation for you, letting him tell you what is your next step in that situation. But what I had read recently, or was told recently, actually it was at church on a Wednesday, was when you're seeking God and you don't know what the fuck to do, and you're just in a complete distraught, and you just don't know which way to turn, and yet you maybe want something so badly but can't have it, and you don't know how or what to do, and you're at a loss, and it said then don't do anything, just stay where you're at until you're told to do different. Okay. And that was like perfect peace for me when I got that message, and I feel like that's the message we came to the conclusion for you tonight. Yeah, you were such a tornado of distraught when I came in here internally that you let out externally.
I couldn't help it. That's my big thing lately, is that if I have a conflict with something or someone, even at the smallest thing, I have to let you know because it's going to eat at me.
It's a dust-sized problem that you let snowball
Yes.
into an issue.
Yes.
Yes.
It's my...
So leave it where it is. If you don't have the answers on what to do, whether to go left or right, leave it where it's at until you're told different. You don't have to do anything. Just let it be and know. Give it time, which is hard because you don't know how much time. And you'll have peace about it, especially if you're giving it to God and giving it God, hey, let me know. Yeah. You're ready for me to do something, step up. What do I need to do? Let me know. Otherwise, we're taking a back seat and we're letting you do whatever you do, God, to get things in place.
Yeah. Absolutely. I agree.
So which brings us to the purpose of our podcast, which is this card. Can I show it? Is that bad? I mean, you already talked about a lot of it.
You can show it, I think, maybe right there if it...
Is it in focus? So you brought me this card.
Try to put it up to it.
There we go. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now my shoulder hurts.
Can I see it?
Yes.
I haven't looked at it since I made it, put it up, and
then you gave it to me, and I'm like, blast you.
I don't mind if they see it. I hope it helps somebody.
So now we picked up where I picked up when you handed me the card. So I flipped the card over, and I realized this is what we need to spend the next hour talking about, which we can't just talk about that without knowing the backstory as to why those pictures are on that card to a point. So, and also what brought you to making the card, which was the Netflix show that you watched, or series.
Yeah, Stutz. Yeah, it's a show. I mean, a movie.
That's why you did that, and part of the therapy that it was recommending for you, which is helping you.
Yeah, it is.
So explain to me, because I'm curious. I've been curious this whole time. What does that mean, and what's the purpose of it, and how does it help you?
So, Stutz explains that, and it's funny because I wish I watched this movie before this past week because I probably wouldn't have. I don't want to talk about it.
Everything happens.
I know.
In its time.
I wouldn't have done what I did had I watched this movie before, because then I would understand myself, and I'm starting to understand myself a lot more by this. But
you would not appreciate it as much because, honestly said, real quick, you are a personality and a person that I observe as being somebody who is aware of other people's feelings and emotions, and you don't want to hurt people's feelings and emotions, and so you stay within a certain narrow path when you're around that person, almost as a people pleaser, right? And yes, you have the ability as you're maturing to do what you want to do and step out of that and say what you want to say, even though it might hurt somebody.
Exactly.
But it's usually in a constructive way.
And it's only if I know that me and that person have a good enough rapport to be able to do that, because I know that could damage somebody. But if I know you can take it, I'll give it to you. Yeah.
So, but you are the personality that if you know that you're walking into a room with 10 other people and the person in that room wants everything quiet, you're going to follow suit. And you're going to try to influence the other people to follow suit. You're not going to be the class clown.
No.
So in saying that, there was a reason. Fudge, I forgot. I'm trying to say who you are and as to why. Dang it, I know I'm going to lose track. Go ahead.
It's okay. So the shadow is basically, there's a part of you that you have to, it's an exercise.
Okay.
So the way the exercise goes, and I'll just kind of, I don't know, if you watch the movie, it'd make more sense. I hope I don't miss it if you don't watch the movie and you just take what I'm trying to say. So I'll try my best. But basically is that you close your eyes and you're trying to picture, I don't know if you want to try it. I don't know if you have a shadow or something, but we all do. So it's the part of you that you close your eyes and it's like the part of you that you're ashamed of. You don't want to show anybody. And you look in deep and you try to find it. And it probably doesn't want you to be there. You might not do it the first time, but you're going to have to find. I found it immediately. I immediately knew it. Drugs. Like, it messed up so many relationships for me. thank God I have those friends that are still, I don't talk to them daily, but they love me, you know, and they're around. But so for mine, it was drugs. And the thing about your shadow is that you have to listen to your shadow. So what you do is that once you find, so you close your eyes and you find that shadow. Mine was drugs. And Stutz tells you to talk to it and ask it how it feels. And when I asked him how it felt, he said that he felt like, he just felt like, I don't know, it was like a hello again. But I didn't want to. I still felt ashamed as I was finding him. Because my eyes were closed, I felt like I was like, I just still didn't want to look at him. Like I don't know. I didn't like it. I didn't want to, I couldn't even psychologically try to get to him. And then he said, you know, like, listen to your shadow. What's he saying? And the first thing that my shadow said to me is he's proud of me. He said he's proud of me, and then I think Stutz asked, like, what does your shadow need from you? And my shadow said everything that I'm doing now. He says he needs me to continue to keep doing what I'm doing and to do this podcast and to, I might not be able to have this in depth of a vulnerable. Maybe I will have that in depth of a conversation with somebody, but I'm like my most insecure, vulnerable side I think ever in my life. It's funny how it's getting caught on camera, but whatever. So the point is that once you find your shadow, you try to separate yourself from your shadow, and you talk to it, and Stutz teaches you to tell your shadow, like, basically, like, that you love him and that you're not afraid of him, you're not ashamed of him, and that you're sorry for neglecting him all these years. See, I thought that since I've been sober and everything, that I thought, all right, I can fake this person to everybody, and everybody sees it. I know my boys see it when I go golf and stuff. My head's usually not there. And that's because when they look at me, I'm usually thinking that they are seeing this drug addict Cedric, but they have no idea that I ever did drugs. They have no idea who I am. But it's this insecurity thing in me that's like, dang, do they know if I did that? They know how many things I did? I get nervous. It makes me freak out. But I've been practicing. I keep these index cards on me because that's what they do. The reason why I got index cards, this is how much it's helped me out. Like, and I'm on fire for it. Because in their therapy session between Jonah and Stutz is that he'll draw out what they're talking about. Like, for instance, like my shadow, these things that I'm afraid of. I don't like seeing them, but you have to draw it out. You have to face it. So
on your card, that's your shadow. These are things you're afraid of.
This is minus the insecurity with my first ex, because I need to put that on here somewhere, because that is here, I'll do it. So on my card, do you want me to explain what's on my card?
I do. Since we all seen it, you can say what's on it and tell me. That's what I was going to ask you. Why is it on there? And while you're writing that, I'm going to say what I was trying to say earlier, which is you're somebody who kind of walks between the lines because that's what you're supposed to do. Mm-hmm. And you like to be perceived that way. You like to be, in my opinion, tell me if you feel like I'm wrong. You like to be perceived as somebody who is, heaven forbid, perfect, although there's no such thing, but you strive for perfection, and you don't like to do anything unless you do it 100% correct.
Do you know why I do it?
I have no idea why you have that in you.
In me? Mm-hmm. It's because I feel like there's always somebody watching me, and if I slip up once, they're going to think that, and I know I'm not perfect, and I know I can't ever be it, but if I could try my hardest, if somebody's looking at me and watching me, and they're looking up to me, and not even looking up, they don't even have to know me, but I carry that presence upon me. Mm-hmm. And they see me cussing, getting drunk as shit, doing something I shouldn't be doing. It's going to make them go and not be that. But if I could try and act right and look right and be good, then maybe that can give them something inside them to be like, you know what? He seems happy and I am happy, but he seems great. Maybe I should stop doing. It's like a light. I'm just trying to be an example, a good example. There you go. I'm just trying to be a good example. Like, it is me. I'm working to be that.
been that all your life, though.
I don't know that, though. I don't feel that. That's why I keep striving for it. I just don't feel that. See, that's what I'm saying. People see it, and they see this outside thing that, like, I portray, and I am that. Mm-hmm. But on the inside, for me, I haven't felt that way up until now. Mm-hmm. Because this shadow is making me realize that's why I was having an empty void about who I am and trying to find myself. And I feel like the reason why people are trying to find themselves is because there's a part of them that they're not bringing with themselves. They're hiding from a certain part. And so I've found my part, and I just found another part, which was my ex. I'm just going to write an X on the face. I don't know.
That was the insecurity that she brought.
It is.
Or that made you
it's so sad.
Vulnerable to it. But
no, I'm not.
But
write an X. That's weird. I'm so grateful for that person.
What you're realizing through watching this show is that you, being said, like to portray a good role model, let's say, right?
I do.
Somebody people could look up to, someone that shows an example of a way to live in a good way. But no one is perfect.
No, they're not.
And even though they portray to look well put together,
yep, in
several fashions, in my opinion, there's always going to be a flaw.
I wrote ex-girlfriend, and then I wrote 2.5 to 3 years. Just added that to it.
Okay.
Just
what was 2.5 to 3 years?
That I was drugged up.
Okay. To document that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So listen. I would forget where I was at with that. Nobody's perfect, said. Mm. Even if you're being a role model to people, to be a role model is to say, I'm not perfect. I have imperfections. Because when you try to portray perfection, mm-hmm, or close to it, or a good role model, which is okay to do, that's a good thing to do, mm-hmm, but be vulnerable and let people know, hey, I too get tired at times. I do get cranky at times. I am impatient at times, when this is funny because this is false, but when my mom makes a good meal, I overeat because glutton is bad.
I have.
But I'm just saying. So I'm just saying, like,
I love your
so
chicken for that.
There's the little things in life that don't seem all that bad.
Yeah.
But we all tend to do them,
Yeah.
Although it's not like a big stickler that people seem to perceive drugs as being, or drug addiction as being, or cursing, or whatever it may be, that people look upon as something that they've done that they no longer want to do, and they maybe want to hide from people that they ever even did it. There's still things on a daily basis. Like we're always going to be a work in progress. We'll always be a work in progress.
Yes.
We'll never be able to be that. And when you get comfortable knowing, not comfortable in doing the imperfection things, but be comfortable with knowing, hey, I'm never going to be perfect, but I'm always going to strive to be as the best me that I could be.
Yeah.
But it's good that you realize you don't have to hide from your faults or your flaws or your whatever you no longer want to do in life.
So with that being said, I'd like to add this to it. I have this card right here, and I make one every day, and I put one down when I'm done. When I'm finished with it at the end of the day, it's part of my routine. And I put it down. I have a stack over there by the bookcase, and I grab a new card. I go write "String of Pearls" on it. It's from the from the movie. It's called "String of Pearls." And what you do is that it could be the smallest thing. And for me, I found that the smallest things are the best things. Mm-hmm. So if I wake up in the morning and I get up out of bed, even if it's not on time, like I don't hop off out of bed. I'm not perfect, okay? Yes. I don't hop out of bed on the first.
You don't?
On the first alarm.
With the makeup
as
on,
much as you would
think.
As much as you would think.
Like before the alarm. Hey, alarm, I'm going to turn you off before you even beep at me.
Yeah, right. I'm waiting for the alarm to go off. I'm just sitting there like any moment now.
Already showered, tie on.
Yeah.
Beat ya.
That's what you think of me. Okay. No.
I feel like that's how you perceive life. That's what I feel like.
Not at all. So It's actually very hard for me to get out of bed every morning. I've been very depressed, and I don't mean to say it like that because I'm not. I believe what you speak, but I just, it's been hard for me to get out of bed for the past like maybe 3 years. No lie.
So that's just speaking ahead. That's another layer of your onion.
It is.
That God most likely will work on at some point.
Okay. Thank you. I hope he does.
That to look forward to in your future.
I have a lot to look forward to.
Yeah.
So the pearl is what you do is like, let's say you get out of bed, you draw a line with the circle and then another line. So that's the pearl, the circle. The pearl is perfect. It's pretty. It's a string of pearls. It's a beautiful necklace. But the thing about every pearl, if you can see, there's a dot, a little black dot inside that pearl.
I see it.
And what that is a turd. Because inside of everything, there's always a bad thing, and it keeps us humble because it's teaching me to not be a perfectionist. That no matter, like this podcast when we started, right? I don't know how it was gonna go. I could sit here and try to control it all I can and say whatever, and it's just probably gonna end up really bad because it looks very whatever. But as authentic as it can be, and I may think that it's me being and I am being vulnerable, like to the T and insecure, but that's my turd in it. It's just there's always gonna be something bad in it. We could try to make it as perfect as we can, but it'll never be perfect. Nothing we do will ever be perfect. So it's like, yes,
you might have dogs barking in the background.
Yes, exactly. It might be there, by the way, guys. So if you hear it,
which you don't want,
no,
that messes it up.
That's why I got up earlier. You know what's so funny?
Perfect
I'm actually not gonna edit that part out just so it could show example of there's a turd and everything, whatever.
That is
because they were barking. And you know how sound irritates me. I'm working on that one too. I really am. But so just to get back to this, you can see I have like 15, 20 of them. So one's like, I just got out of bed. I was taking my vitamins and all of them. I've journaled every single day since I watched this movie, and I love that. I've been journaling. I actually went outside on my egg basket chair, my egg chair, and I actually took it to the deck, and I sat there on the deck as the sunrise was coming up. It was so nice. And I was writing out my journal. And here, I'll be a little bit vulnerable because people are like, well, I don't know how to write, or I don't know what to write in my journal. And here's what I started with.
What do you write? Just how you feel, whatever thoughts are in your head?
Yeah. Whatever comes to me.
Do you date it?
I do. Every day I dated the date, like the day, like whatever day it is, and then like Sunday, November 27, 2022. And I'm very repetitive about that. Like I want to keep it structured like that. I don't know why. It just helps me. But this is the first one. So this is actually a really good journal entry because this is the first journal entry I made. And the purpose of a journal entry, by the way, Mom, too, is that it's a reflection of your thoughts. So it's what's in your head come into paper, and you're seeing yourself write this. And it's supposed to give you a refresher, like a happiness of like, you could write. A lot of people like to have their own things. I don't like to plan for it. I just let whatever I like just start to kind of write, and I just let it go. I don't know how to explain it, but here, like, I didn't think of this. This just naturally flowed. This is the day after I watched Stutz. The morning after. Cedric, and each one starts with Cedric because I'm addressing myself. And it's so weird because I sometimes address myself in third party, and I sometimes address myself like in first person. So it says, Cedric, I love you. I'm proud of you. I haven't read this since I wrote it. It's going to get me all emotional. You're on the right path. Hey, I wrote that. God is moving in you.
Pause.
Huh.
Are you talking to Cedric or are you talking to your shadow? Just curious.
Oh, that actually could be, I don't know. Actually, in one of my entries, Tuesday, November 29th, 2022, Cedric, I'm talking to you, my shadow. But I may be unconsciously talking to my shadow as well. But he's technically I am because he's a part of me now. So it's like,
okay,
I might have like already thought.
So you're not too separate. You're not talking to your shadow separate from you.
Not on this one. My shadow's, and I guess since I watched, I don't know.
Since you acknowledge it now,
he's with me.
Yeah,
we're all together now. It's all in me.
You're owning your past.
Yes, and not hiding from it, but owning it.
Because it is your testimony, kid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you hiding that and being this perfect role model
Don't worry.
doesn't help anybody. It just shows everybody that, oh, he's so perfect, and let me strive to be that, and I'm never gonna reach perfection.
Yeah.
So you don't have to represent perfection.
Right.
Being a good role model,
Is good. But
good habits in life. Yes, that's good, but you let out a curse word because somebody cut you off. I mean,
it happens.
yeah, shame on you, but it might happen. Don't mean you have to condemn yourself and go stand in the corner when you get home.
Yeah.
So
you got jokes.
don't be disciplining yourself.
You got jokes. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So I'll finish it out. God is moving in you. God loves you. Jesus Christ loves you. The Holy Spirit loves you. We are on a path of enlightenment. Continue to have faith in God. You cannot do anything without God. Lean on to him. Talk to him. Let him know you need him and his help. I am worthy. I am strong. I am capable. I am victorious. I am more than a conqueror, not average, not mediocre. I am the child of the Most High God. I will do great things. All glory be to God. In Jesus' name, amen. I don't know. I think I wrote that maybe after church.
Yeah, because some of it sounds familiar.
Sounds like Joel.
The ending did, for sure.
But yeah, that
okay. So
that
in
was my
listening
first
to your
entry.
own journal and your own words to yourself, go back.
Mm-hmm.
So read it again to me. I'm gonna ask you to pause.
Starting from the beginning.
Sure.
Sunday, November 20th.
Oh Lordy, not the date.
Cedric.
Are you really proud about that date, though? I'm just gonna tell you. I know you are.
I like writing the date. Don't call me out on
It's
it.
so perfect.
I do it all the time. You know how long it took me to get that? I'm not gonna lie
How
to
many
you.
papers did you tear out and throw away?
No,
you didn't
actually,
have the date right?
you know, it's so funny that you mentioned that. One thing about me that I used to. Okay, so this stems. That's funny that you're here and you talk about that. So this stems from not a trauma, but this stems from a thing about me and you. So remember when I used to do my spelling words and I would miss one word, and then you would make me write that word 5 to 10 times, and then you'd make me take the spelling test again until I had 100. Well, remember whenever I would go to erase, instead of erasing back to the letter where it was, I'd erase the whole thing, like all of it. I just erase it all, and you're like, no, you don't have to. And I would just like with an attitude just start erasing it all.
Mm-hmm.
So for some reason that's stemmed in me, and it became a part of me to where I do that. I would like, even it'd be a first sheet of paper and like blank paper, I'd start to write it out, a title, and if I didn't like the title and how it looked and where it was, I'd rip out the sheet and I'd do another one until I liked the title. And then if I misspelled something, or if a certain letter looked scribbled out, looked wrong, and I had to scribble it out, I didn't like it. I wanted it to be, again, perfect. So I'd scribble it out. I'd rip off the paper, turn to the next page.
Start all new.
Another funny thing about me is that you'll never see me write on the back of the paper. I always go to the front paper, and I don't know why I don't like writing on the back of the paper. I think it's because I don't like the bands being on my hand. It bothers me when I write.
I don't know. If you date a tree hugger, that's probably going to change.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So, now what I'm working on is imperfection. It's so funny how it's breaking me down on my imperfection, because I don't want to be perfect. And so I'm realizing that I had that tendency. So you'll see it.
Which bears a heavy load on somebody
really
who tries to live a perfect life, because you learn a lot when you realize you don't have to live life that way. But you haven't finished reading.
Yeah, well, I just wanted to finish that sentence.
We didn't even get past the date.
Yeah, I just wanted to finish that sentence that now when I mess up on a letter or a word, I just scratch it out, keep going, I write the next word. So I'm learning to break that that habit.
So in dentistry, before everything went computerized and you put your notes in the computer, typed in the computer, we wrote on the chart, right, what we did. And so back in the day when I was in school, and when you're writing letters to somebody or you're writing your essay and you mess up, we just didn't scribble. I don't know what kids do today. They don't even use pen and paper, do they? We did circles. So the whole world, circle, 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 and come back, circle, 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 and go back across, circle, 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 right?
Mm-hmm.
That's how we erased it, right? So.
Oh, yeah. I see you do that.
Going into
I wonder why you always did that. You always used to
up.
do circles.
So your generation didn't do that. They didn't do circles to erase stuff.
My curly Q, she does that. I think.
Okay, so going into
Sorry,
dentistry, I go to messed up my words writing in pen, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I go circle, 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 back and circle, 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 right? And then you're no, because it's a legal document. You could only put one line across it. That's the only way. I think they need to see what's beneath it or whatever. But yeah, so it was only one line to mark it out. We can't
Interesting.
use the whole pen ink to black it out.
Yeah.
Anyways, so you scribble it out. Don't know much how scribbles you do, but dealing with your OCD.
I do lines.
Well, I was gonna say
I do
one
lines.
line.
I do about like maybe enough to like just line just to cover up the letter.
God. I could see you sitting there and doing one line right next to another line, next to another line, next to another line, like so.
Your perception of me is ridiculous.
And then you sit back and you're like, "That's a good job."
It's like you
now
watched.
I can write the rest of my.
It's like you watched me the other
journal.
night. I literally did do that when I first started. I was like, "That's really good," and then now I just don't care, and now I'm worrying if I'm getting chaotic with it. I'm trying to help you without even knowing all that. One line and let it be. Yes, ma'am.
Just try it.
I will.
It'll save you ink, time, and then just to be able to let go of that care of how you marked out that word and just know it's gone. All it needs is one line. It's out of your life.
Yes, ma'am.
Just like that friggin' dust particle that falls that you let snowball into this big old problem.
Ordeal that ruins everything. Yeah.
So read to me after the date what your first entry was.
Okay. Cedric, I love you. I'm proud of you. You are on the right path. God is moving in you. God loves you. Jesus Christ loves you. The Holy Spirit loves you. We are on a path of enlightenment. Continue to have faith in God. You can do anything you cannot do anything without God. Lean on to him. Talk to him. Let him know that you need him and his help. And then it goes to the I ams.
Yeah. So those 4 statements.
Mm-hmm.
Back up to the first one.
I love you. Or
the 4 statements you just read. The 4 mini. I don't even know if it's a statement. Like
you want to. We are on a path of enlightenment. Continue to have faith in God. You cannot do anything without God.
Mm-hmm. One more. Back up one more.
Let him know that you need his help. God is moving in you.
There. So God is moving in you because you've accepted Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, that's your first entry, right?
It was.
It's basically a good foundation to live your life by.
Yeah.
Is it not? If I was sitting here with an issue right now and I was struggling, you're going to give me your words of wisdom. But at the end of the day, it's not your words of wisdom that are going to help me. It's God's words of wisdom moving through you, correct?
Yeah.
It's not you, it's him, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you have an issue that you're working on, which is a relationship issue, also your shadow issue and your past that you're facing. And what is it again? God is in you, moving in you.
Mm-hmm.
And what's the next one?
God loves you. Jesus Christ. You want to get past that?
Don't go backwards, go forward now.
We are on a path of enlightenment.
No, I went too far.
Continue to have faith in God. It goes into Jesus and them loves me.
No, back up.
God
loves you. Jesus loves you. Then where were we when we go forward?
The Holy Spirit loves you. Mm-hmm. We are on a path of enlightenment. Continue to have faith in God.
Continue to have faith in God, yeah.
You cannot do anything without God.
You can't do anything without God, so you have to listen to yourself. So today, when I came in here, you were a tornado in the inside, spinning round and round.
That was horrible.
You let it all out.
Mm-hmm.
But what you needed to be telling yourself, let's say I never made it by here tonight.
Honestly, I don't know if I thought about that.
Where you would be. So I'm trying to help you for the next time. So you have to learn from this episode the tools that you need to get through something when you're in that that state again.
Mm-hmm.
It may or may not help you, but learn from what happened tonight, what maybe made you feel better, or what tools you need to help you next time. Just like the other night when you were feeling like suicidal, right?
Yeah.
You turned to whoever you were texting to, who recommended you to watch something funny, but in trying to look up something funny, you came across what somebody else recommended for you, which was this movie, which all worked out, right?
Yeah.
Don't know if that would ever help you again, but because you went on this path, you may have found tools that will help you when you get there, right?
Literal
Not necessarily
tools.
the movie watching or comedy watching, but the tools that you're learning from what you watched,
Mm-hmm.
which you're sharing on here. So follow God, what God says.
You cannot do anything without him.
Yeah. So when you came in, you were a tornado of emotion because you were distraught about being on the outs with your girlfriend. You need to turn to God. That's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
And seek his guidance, which sometimes you can't hear, which is probably, but you were too much in what you needed to do. You wanted to know what you should do.
Yeah.
You wanted to physically do something. You wanted to verbally do something, physically do something. You wanted results, and you wanted results now.
Yeah.
You weren't in control of your own emotions.
I'm not in control of my life.
Your emotions were in control of you.
Yeah. They were.
So it helped to let them out, right?
Helped to talk about it.
Yeah, helped to talk about it. Because then you got emotional, you cried some.
Yeah.
That makes you feel better, believe it or not. Always makes me feel better.
Yeah.
To let those out, to not harbor them, not to hold them in. So to find somebody to talk to is helpful. Give me this thing since I can't remember what it says. And I keep making you back up. It says, it's warm in here like you said it would be.
You want me to go turn down the AC? I gotta let the dogs out.
Either way.
I'll let them outside. Let them run around for a little bit. We can go ahead and keep going.
You want to say that where somebody can hear you?
What?
You mumbled that whole way in the room.
No, I'm just saying. I let them outside, the dogs. I'm gonna keep going, and I'll bring them back in a bit.
You good?
Yeah, I'm great. Let's go. I'm fine now. I'm past it. You know, it's still in there. Probably come out in a little bit, but I'm fine.
Like emotional, because I sense a bit of irritation.
Uh, I'm not irritated. It's just I'm working through it. A lot. I don't know. I just feel like even making this podcast, even everything that I'm trying to do, up until I feel like I'm being attacked in a lot of ways, spiritually, and I think this is the reason why. And I think it's so beautiful what you're doing for me right now, is that it's like I do everything in my life. I'll never ask. This is one thing about me. I've never said this to anybody, but one thing about me that I could say, I'll never ask somebody to do something that I won't do.
That's my point I was going to
That's
make.
one thing about me. That's to my heart and soul. If I'm asking you to do something or I'm telling you to do something, it's because I have already done it, or I will do it, but I'll do it first. I lead by example. Mm-hmm. That's the whole point. Like, hey, you know, whatever. If somebody, I don't ever tell somebody not to do something, but if they ask me about drinking or whatever, I'll tell them like, yeah, this is what it is. But I'm already doing it. I'm not like I'm practiced it already. Working out, you know, whatever it is, you know, mending a relationship with someone. Like now, the one that I've mended recently with both of the two really important people in my life. That would be for maybe another day or for later if we get to it. But with, you know, with Dad and with Grandma, mending those two relationships, now it worked by using these tools. And that's the only reason why, by using what Stutz, the movie, gave me, was I able to go and face them with, like, it wasn't that I didn't have any fear. It's just that I didn't have anything to lose, but I had everything to gain. And if I'm going to be telling people, or if people come to me and ask, how do I do that? And, you know, how do I go approach that and whatever, I can help with that because I've done it and it works.
Because you had somewhat of a falling out with your grandma and definitely had a falling out with your dad.
And a lot of people don't know that. And I'll just mention it real quick. And I thought about it today. It's so funny. It's so funny today. The podcast was on my mind all day of how we were going to start it, or how we were going to do this, or what I was going to talk about. It was on my mind all day.
You preparing, were you?
I was thinking about it. I was actually going to talk about you and our relationship together, and how, if it's been everything of perfect, you know, our whole life, like how's our relationship been? Because we don't even talk about that. We don't discuss some of the BS that you and I have gone through. But
can I say that it's not outside any norm of a mom and son relationship? Mm-hmm. It's definitely not perfect. We've had our good times and our bad times. Your personality and my personality, we're both strong people, strong opinionated people. And so we butt heads at times when our opinions differ, or when we want to call each other out on our bullshit.
Which we do often.
Yeah. So although it hurts at the time and we appear angry at the time, at the end of the day, we both love each other. And that's why I feel like it's not out of any norm of any mom and son.
Love you.
Love you.
No, and
that's why we don't really need to discuss it in a sense.
Yeah,
I think.
That's what I'm saying. I was thinking about it all day today of how we were gonna have what we're gonna do on the podcast, and then I just won't. I don't know. It's just something.
So in the trial of podcasting or whatever it's called, we wrote topics on paper and folded it and then picked up the paper to give us something to talk about, to try to not be so regimented and structured, to be more random. So we wouldn't just be, hey, this is what we're going to talk about today, to give us that. So when you handed me the card and we hadn't done the podcast yet and it was upside down, I couldn't see it. And I'm like, oh, is this our topic tonight? I flipped it over and looked at it and you're like, no, it's actually my shadow. Okay. And I was like, that's when we decided to come in here and we started. Yeah. So that was kind of neat in my world of interpretation of it. Are you done?
Yeah, I'm okay. I just, it's just helpful. It's helpful having someone. That's why I tell people, like, talk to me, like because they'll tell me thank you, like, you know, for whatever you posted and stuff, and I'll tell them, I'll give them my number, and I mean it. Like Thomas is like that too. I don't mean to put you out there like that, T, but
nobody knows his last name.
Yeah, but Tom is like that too. Tom always tells me, said, if you're having suicidal thoughts, or if anybody is, I will call you. I'll either call you and stay on the phone with you the whole entire time, or I will come stay with you and stay up the whole entire time, even while you're asleep. That's why I love that dude so much, because it's like he's genuine to the T, you know. No, like pun intended, Thomas, but it's just like, it's people like that, you know. And I know there's other friends like that too, but they're consumed with their own lives and stuff like that. And I have those friends, and I know damn well I could call them and they would, you know, if I needed some help. But that's why I tell people, like, because I know what it's like to have suicidal thoughts. I know what it's like to have mental health problems. Like, and for the longest time, I think the biggest mental health problem is not acknowledging that there is such thing as a mental health problem. Because they are real. They're real, and they're not meant to be taken lightly. But what's unacceptable about mental health problems is not doing anything about them and just saying that, you know, this is just how I am, and that's it. These tools, Stutz, that movie, since then, and you know me how I go into things. I've watched 3 interviews on him and Barry, who wrote the book, Tools. I ordered the book, got it. I'm reading it now.
Literally, that's the title of the book?
Tools. Yeah.
Go figure.
No kidding. And then the second book is Coming Alive, which is dealing with your part X, which is the devil, more or less. But I don't mean to throw anybody off if you don't believe in God or whatever. But part X is basically like the negative thoughts of, like, Cedric, you're not going to be able to do this podcast. Cedric, no one's going to want to listen. Cedric, nobody cares about what you have to talk about, or the people that, you know, like, who are you bringing on? No one knows them. Nobody cares what you're saying. Your voice isn't good enough for a podcast. You know, you're not attractive enough for a podcast. You're not, all these things, these thoughts that go through my head said, you know, it takes too much time to upload the podcast. Do you even have the patience for that?
No.
Can you come up with this? But I do it, you know?
Yeah.
And so it teaches you how to, it gives you the tools, which I actually did before you got here, and it didn't help, but it did help in its own way.
Yeah. And you're a person who's growing, son. And what's something that's hard for you today will not be hard for you down the road.
Yeah.
When you start out lifting weights, you can't just do max whatever.
Right.
When you start out riding a bike, you have to typically try with training wheels on it, and work your way up to the no training wheels, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, and you fall off, and you bump your knees, and you skin your knees, and you do this. It's part of life.
Yeah.
So as a child, you learn how to ride a bike. Right now, you're learning how to be vulnerable and face your past.
Yeah. And it's hard. It's not pretty.
And
but
why
I want to
it's
be
hard for you, partially, in my opinion, is what I keep trying to reference. Is not the fact that you did it. It's the fact that you personally said, in my opinion, have a personality that likes to be looked upon as a role model, as somebody who has their life together and in order. And if you say, I went down the road of drugs and alcohol, that doesn't fall in line with that, you know? And I feel like that's why it's so hard for you to talk about. But
that's how you think I am?
I feel like that's where you were before the last 5 days.
I think that's where a lot of people see me as. And that's my part X that I have to deal with too, because that's not me. How I perceive myself is that everything I'm doing it for God.
Yes. Okay.
So it's like I listen to my internal being, and everything in my inner being is telling me not to drink, not to smoke. He's always telling me not to have any angry thoughts or to have any bad unwashed blood, like any bad falling outs with anybody, that if I did, that I need to go address them. And I actually have been like analyzing it, like what's in my heart that makes me hard and makes me upset. Who do I need to reach out to? Which would be weird. on like Messenger on Facebook or something and say, hey, look, I remember back in whatchamacallit time, I just wanted to say that I'm sorry, that I hope you're doing well, I forgive you, or, you know, whatever, like I've accepted it, and just like do it for myself to alleviate myself from that hate that I may have in my heart.
Definitely.
And so I don't do any of it to be for anyone else. If I had it my way, I am kind of having it my way, but like I just like to be said alone. You know me, I'm a loner. I like to be alone. I don't want to be around anybody. I make myself go be that, but not because I want to. It's just because that's what God's using me to be, that person.
But how did I not say any of that?
You did, but I'm just saying, like, because you were telling me that I like to perceive.
As
you were saying that model. I like to be a good role model, but that's not me.
You're saying it's God wanting you to
be that,
live without these things that you've put behind you that you no longer do.
Yeah, because I can't be
that's
that.
What you're saying.
I can't. Yeah, because he's telling me that, Cedric, you can't. So
that's good that you're putting God first in your life, and you're putting His will, and His will is for you not to be doing drugs and not to be doing certain things,
or alcohol or anything.
Yeah.
Or angry thoughts, or like, just do your best to weed them out. He does. But see, that's the thing that I think it's very important to mention, is that whenever I was drinking and smoke, when I was like I was like 5 years recently, I didn't stop smoking and drinking, smoking vape. And I had to say that because I don't think people think I'm talking about weed, but nicotine, cigarettes and vape.
Then you thought you got off a pack of cigarettes because you went to vaping, but vaping
was worse.
It's another form of smoking.
It's more
cigarettes.
Addicting because it's acceptable. You could just do it inside and then it smells better, but and it hits you harder than a cigarette does. But so I didn't stop that. I stopped that in March of this year, so I'm like 8-9 months going on, whatever, of sobriety from that. But here's the thing: is that whenever I haven't even talked about my testimony, but whenever I did have that, my testimony, I gave my life up, and I said, I don't like the life I'm living. You know, I'll walk your path no matter how hard it is what I said, and some more. It's just kind of summarizing it, right? Like a big summary, but God recently told me at the beginning of this year that if you want to get to a higher level or the next level, like, you're doing fine where you're at and it's great, but if you want to get to a higher level, you need to give something up. That's why I say God's a businessman. I swear, because he negotiates with so many people. I feel like he negotiates with me all the time. He said that you need to give up drinking and smoking vape or nicotine because I know you like it, so that you could reach your next level. And it felt so crazy hearing him say that, because I was like, well, what next level could there be, or what is that, you know? And then it took a little bit of time. As I said, it was the beginning of the year. It took all the way until March. And then I had one bad night. I was really drunk. Not a good night. And then I realized that I needed to give up cigarettes. I needed to give up nicotine, because when I drink, I want to smoke nicotine. So I wanted to give up vaping because I just felt like smoking would lead me back into weed eventually. And so I wanted to give up vaping for sure. So I actually recorded myself. I have it. I recorded myself saying, said, anytime that you're feeling down and out, watch this video. This is you smoking your last vape, hitting it. And then so I did. Took a big ass hit, blew it out into the camera. And then, I tossed it out. I haven't smoked the vape since. And I knew that I had to give up vape, because if I gave up vaping, that would make me want to give up alcohol, because every time I wanted to drink, every time I drank, I would want to smoke. And if I can't, I don't want to drink again, because then I got to break my vow, because I can't smoke. So there's no point in even drinking, because if I can't smoke, I don't want to drink. I kind of pinned myself, checkmate, right? Is what I feel like I did. But when he said that I was going to get to the next level, I didn't understand that. And I didn't start seeing anything that I see now, because you said that this all started because you said he's adding onto my list. And I didn't start seeing some of the things that I was doing, like the way I was being with towards my dad, or like they started coming out, like the way I talk about certain things and certain
So you kind of had like a grudge at your dad, but prior
in its
to,
own way,
to recently,
a
you
scare and a
were
grudge,
harboring like
feelings.
anger towards him, and
Yeah, so I didn't start feeling that. I didn't start realizing that was an issue. I thought that was okay to have those things, and they're not okay. No matter what social media tells people nowadays, is like, you know, this whole thing of it's okay to be at peace and go away and be strong and work on yourself and remove yourself. I call that horse shit, because I think that causes more pain when you remove yourself from something that is hurting you that you haven't addressed yet. Now, if you have addressed it and you've told that person and made it known, then I think maybe, yeah, it's warranted.
You've done all you can do, and you can't do anything to make them be any different.
It's warranted. But here's the catch. If you tell them, you know, if you make it known to them that you're hurt and that's a problem and whatever, and they don't do nothing about it, then and you go your own way, okay. But if they come back, because the whole point of you telling them is so that you don't have hate for them. This is also a tool that they taught me. So the whole point is like you don't have hate for them. It's called active love. So if they come back, you accept them of what they're saying if they have changed. If they come back and they realize, hey, I've done this, some realization, I've whatever, I hear what you're saying, and then it doesn't mean, because maybe they're doing that for themselves, doesn't mean that the relationship needs to be like to continue like a relationship, but it's just like it's a good thing for, they're doing it because they need to get that out towards you, they need to release it towards you, and it's your job or as a person to allow them to do that. I don't know, that's what I just did with Dad recently, and it helped. I mean, for the past 2 years, I was thinking about it today. In the past 2 years, it's almost 2 years. No, it's been 2 years. In the past 2 years, him and I have spoke to each other at least 6 times.
Yeah, minimum.
Maybe.
Probably no more than 20 minutes.
And he was unconscious, kind of on drugs for like 2 of them.
Medicated. Yeah.
Medicated. Yeah, so
not drugs, like
no, he got in a car wreck. So yeah.
As I was trying to wrap it up.
Sorry, I didn't know that you were trying to do that.
No. You're doing yours too. You're good. Getting back on the track of what your first journal is, because they recommend you writing a journal.
Yes.
Hoy. Okay.
Did you hear it?
I did.
I'm sorry.
So, as you write in your first journal entry, and yet you are struggling tonight, I feel like you weren't applying what you had written in here, which is something that you have to reflect on and pull from when you're struggling. These are the tools that you need to remind yourself. Continue to have faith in God, because your focus was just on you at the time.
Yeah.
Yes, God was in the picture, but you weren't having faith in God to know that whatever circumstance you're in right now, he'll have your back on it, and whatever's best for you, he'll do for you. And you were just trying to fix it all yourself, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So continue to have faith in God. You cannot do anything without God. All right. Lean on him, right? Because he's not just there to be there. He's there for you to lean on him, which is good that you wrote this. Talk to him, which you may still have, which you've been doing. You said you've been talking to him daily on it, but I don't know if you were saying the right words, which is, God, I give you this issue.
Like I said, whenever I write that thing or these journal entries, I don't have any intentions. It's just what I'm feeling at the moment, and whatever thought comes, I just let it out. I don't try to stop the thought flow, because I feel like it just stops the flow. So yeah, it may not make complete total sense.
Makes sense.
It makes.
And it even applies to your struggle tonight.
Yeah,
is what I'm saying. Is if I didn't come in tonight and you weren't able to release that, I feel like you need to fall back on what you have written on here.
Right. I agree. 100%.
And
I
then
hear
when
what
you
you're saying.
reflect it and you reread it, and if you read it and you apply it to what was happening tonight, is again, continue to have faith in God. You cannot do anything without God. You get to tell yourself that.
Yeah.
Like, focus on Him, lean on to Him, talk to Him, tell Him, like, God, I'm like going through it right now, which you've been telling Him, but I give it to you. This is too much for me to bear.
It is.
Too much for me to handle.
It is.
And it's something that you can give to Him, and then you can sit back and you could say, you know, show me what to do next. And if you don't know what to do next, wait until He shows you. Let Him know you need Him and His help, which is what we just said. And then you go on to say that you're worthy. And then because you were down and out on yourself, you felt bad about yourself, you're really critical of yourself and what you may have done wrong, your part in it, right?
Yep.
And you were wanting to fix it and correct it.
Yep.
And you weren't able to.
Nope.
Nobody wants to feel like shit and know they fucked up and then not be able to fix it. They don't want to be cut off and still lingering in here like, man, I'm just a fuck up. Now I've just got to sit here in my shit.
And eat it.
Yes. Nobody wants that. They want to fix it. But you're only one side of it.
Right.
You can't force the other side of it to do anything. So you go through here and you are all these positive things that you have on here. And you remind yourself, and I'm going to give it to God. And then God, you know, next time around, whoever or it's with or whatever, you know, you learn from that episode and hopefully are stronger the next time around. Hopefully it don't happen again, but if it does, maybe it's less of a trauma, or you help somebody else through their heartbreak tornado.
Yes. I agree, because that was not a pretty sight, but it actually is, because it got to get broken down.
You're an ugly crier. I'm just kidding, kid.
I don't think there's anybody who's a pretty crier.
I know.
If you are,
let's see it.
Yeah,
let's
please.
See a pretty crier.
I don't want to get too far into it, but here's this the next day was, Cedric, I'm proud of you. You are becoming, not that I am, but you're becoming more disciplined with yourself and God. Mm-hmm. You are learning to love yourself and not be ashamed of who you are. That right there, it took me so long to learn how to love myself. I finally, for the first time this year, I told myself that I love myself. And I was actually happy to say it. I don't know why.
Seems like a hard thing to do.
It's hard.
It's
hard.
Initially, it doesn't sound it until you actually try to do it. First of all, I feel like it would be really awkward.
Yeah.
You know, it's like,
well, because I think we're taught
I can do that, and then you go to the let's say the restroom is what I picture.
Yeah.
And you're looking in the mirror, and you're like, not being able to jump off the diving board. Can't do it.
I think that we're taught that, you know, don't be egotistical. It's about everybody else and this and that. And it's like, no, you need to love yourself. Like, truly love yourself and understand yourself. Because if you can't love yourself, then how do you love other people?
Mm-hmm. I agree.
If I see someone who loves themselves and knows themselves, like loves themselves truly, then I know they're probably going to treat me really well. Mm-hmm. But if you have somebody who doesn't really love themselves and is like fake to themselves and not real and authentic, they're going to be fake and unauthentic to everybody else. It's just natural.
I love myself.
I love myself too. And I challenge, if they're listening, if we do post this, I challenge someone to, can you tell yourself, I love myself, and it not sound awkward? But I do. I don't know.
I love myself, and I love my goods and my bads, but it's not easy to talk about the bads. Hard to face it.
It is.
But it is who I am. It's what I am and who I am. So it's life.
I think you're a beautiful person, Mom.
Thanks. You are too, kid.
No, you didn't.
I mean, it's a good time for it.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm the cool person from the black and white movies, like Cool Hand Luke. What's his name? No, what's his name? Not Cool Hand Luke. Who's Grandpa's person? Tall white dude comes in westerns. The Duke. The Duke.
John Wayne.
There you go. I just feel like I'm like the cool person when I say it.
John White. Yeah, I forget exactly where we're with this, but
I try to wrap it up.
I didn't know you were.
This is the second time you said you didn't know I was.
I didn't know if you were trying to wrap up a specific conversation or if you were trying to wrap up the whole thing.
Oh, I see.
I was
Wrap up
confused.
the whole thing by ending the conversation.
Okay.
But I'm going to pass it back to the real host and first guest of said.
As it should be.
Cedric. I'll let you take over.
Wrap it up. Okay. Well, I just like to say that I'd give my opinion. That was pretty intense on my end, mentally and emotionally. And anybody watching, if I do post this, which I believe I probably will, because it's a side of me that a lot of people don't get to see, and actually it's probably would ever see, because you're not gonna see this. It's probably the first time for myself to even see myself at this, because if I do have to admit, I haven't ever been this low or this vulnerable, especially if I'm gonna put it out on something. And I just want to say that anybody who I do have come on, or if I asked you to come on and you see this, don't think that you
don't have to go there.
You don't have to get this low. Yeah, please don't be scared.
That emotional.
But not this emotional. It's just that, like I said, if it's me, one thing about me is that I won't ask you to do something that I wouldn't do. And I think for that, I will post this.
You've done it. Yeah.
And because I've done it, and I've probably done the worst out of anybody that could probably do it, as far as being like, so,
for you, topic wise,
I don't have any makeup on or nothing like that.
Well, you don't now. You cried the shit off. So you ugly as fuck. Just kidding. Take back all the curse words.
I'd like to say thank you, Mom, for coming on, and I love you, and I appreciate you. You've had a huge role, obviously, in my life. You gave me, of course, just so simple, right? Birth. Yeah, you popped me up. And I've always told people, like, ask a guy what he thinks about his mom, and that'll tell you a lot about him as a person. And I think you're a very beautiful woman. I think you're very strong.
Thanks.
And I think that I look up to you a lot. And you made me who I am. You make me do these things like this. For instance, if anybody wants to see an example of our relationship, it's this right here.
Yeah.
And I appreciate your support. And I appreciate the trials that we've done, the ABCs. And
to get us this point.
From holding the mics without the stands, being in the living room, having the cameras, around us, and then figuring out one mic, two mic.
Yeah.
And
then Reno, actually it was us, and your mic wasn't working, and
yes.
You got picked up only in the background.
Yeah, so my voice was.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how tonight turns out.
We will, because this is the longest one that I've done, and I'm looking forward to the editing, because I'm doing my own edits. But
can we say ABCs one time?
You want to try it? It's such an insider. All right, you want me? I'll start because I get the cues. A B C D E F G
H I J K
L M N O P
Q R S
T U V
W X
Y and Z. We're gonna go back and watch the first ABC and see if it worked.
I feel like I paused on the right ones.
I freaking love you. I appreciate the intimate conversation, and I appreciate you're one person I can be vulnerable with, and I have been vulnerable with for the past. I can't even.
Yeah, you have your moments.
For a while, you and I would go eat weekly, and talk. I have my sign off.
Do you now?
I do. Want to hear it?
I'm waiting for it.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh Lordy, I'm gonna laugh at you.
Are you? I don't know. That's such a Part X thing I have to deal with. Well, Mom laughs at me. Thank you everybody for watching. love yourself so that you can go love someone else.
Nice.
And God bless y'all.
Very. I don't have no sign off.
That's it.
Awesome.
All right, Mom. Thank you. All right.